What's happening?
Preparing to live stream this meeting. Yep.
Got it. Okay.
It's buffering now. It's getting ready. So
copy that. What's happening?
Preparing to live stream this meeting. Redirecting to YouTube. Okay. I guess we're live. Hi there. Let's make sure we're working here. This meeting is being live streamed. Got it. All right. Fantastic. Hello, world. I'm Azmyth.
Mark here.
And that's that's Mark. So we've done this once before. You've seen us do this nonsense once before. Mark and I game a lot together. We produce shows together. We do a lot of nerd shit together. And one of the things that he's brought to the table at some point in our relationship is he's like, hey, I got a guy in Romania and Chris is the shit. So he turned me on to Creepy Prince, which is a gentleman who does professional 3D quality, He's not
right.
He's not
just Chris. He's got a whole team of people,
a staff. He's got a whole company.
Yeah, he's got a crew. Yeah, it's not just one guy. He's the founder, the starter of the company. But yeah, he's got a whole team of people in Bucharest, and they make amazing miniatures. So I am a lazy person by nature. I'm a slacker. And so I've had these miniatures. And so Chris, I owe you an apology, and my cutting plan is to do purchases on the regular again. And I apologize for the gap. And then I'm going to send these out to Mike, and then we're going to unbox them. So I've probably had these in a box for a year and a half. I think like 2 different boxes. And recently, one of the 3 things I got done when I was on vacation, other than I would say I played video games. I really just played the same video game over and over again. But the other thing I got done was I actually got in my car and drove a box to UPS, and thank you UPS for getting these to Mike. And so we've got this big box of miniatures that have come from Chris and the Creepy Prince team in Romania that I've had sitting in my basement for a year. That Mike is
Today's show is brought to you by the letter P for procrastination, kids. Procrastination. Exactly. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to do a little share screen with you, and I'm going to show you Chris's site, because I had it all.
And they make some amazing stuff. Yeah, they make some great miniatures.
All right, I had it all prepped and ready, but of course, that's not what's happening now. Okay, there we go. See, it's been a while. The name of the video says it all right there. It's been a while since either one of us have done any of this shit. So let me again now show you. This is Chris's site.
Yep.
It's Creepy Prince with 3 E's, and he is in Bucharest, Romania. And these are some of the best quality 3D printed figures I've ever seen. And I have a bunch of friends who are into this. I know a lot of professionals who are into this. He has serious machines, and he spends a lot of extra money for really high quality resin. Like, he doesn't scrimp, he doesn't skimp. There's no air bubbles. Like, if there's an open cavity, it's supposed to be there. They're fucking amazing. So check it out. You can go to Etsy and look for Creepy Prince with 3 E's. Is what you
so leave the site up for a second, Mike. So one of the things I want to point out is that all of the miniatures that we're going to unbox today. So you'll see on the side, different item categories. So all of these are Lion Tower miniatures. So Lion Tower is, I believe, it's a cat in the U.S. whose name escapes me at the moment, but I believe it's a U.S. based creator who creates the digital versions.
He does the sculpt.
Right? Correct. He does the digital sculpts. And so all of the printed miniatures you guys are going to see today are all Lion Tower. That's where they started as the digitals. And they're amazing. But I just wanted to point out. And again, so you might, Mike, if you can, look up Lion Tower so we can.
Yeah. So if we just filter out just by Lion Tower.
Yeah.
If you might follow these guys on Instagram, you might see them on Facebook. These sculpts pop up all the time. And of course, Chris and Creepy Prince are an authorized reseller of these. He's set up for, every single sculpt every single STL, every single file that Chris and his team work with, they are authorized to absolutely do so. There's no shady shit. There's no greasy stuff here. And you can easily ask them and he will tell you the source and show you proof if you need it. But here's some of just beautiful stuff, guys. He captures, even at 28 millimeter, he captures facial expressions and he captures form. And I'm sure, it's the modeling. It has a lot to do with the original files, but his end results are beautiful. So let's get to it. We've given you plenty of information. Shout out to Chris. You're a badass. He always takes really good care of us. He always takes really good care of Mark. He's that guy who, we order one thing and he throws 3 in and a couple of them are different sizes. And he's just like, I wanted to take care of you. They'll be nice to us. So we appreciate that kind of love. And we will always show him that in return. So let's get to the box. Oh, here's the box. Let me get this out of the way a little bit. And then,
so this is a repackage. I know it says Knocking Point, which is a Stephen Amell's wine company. My wife is a wino, and so and a Stephen Amell fan. Okay. So that's why it's Knocking Point. So the repackage.
So yes, but that's perfectly acceptable.
That said, we should be good. Chris and team packed these really well the first time. I opened up some of these, but most of them I just put back in the same bubble wrap. Sorry, Mike, for the over taping.
How smart!
I tend to go crazy.
Aha! All right, I do see the lip here.
Yeah. So 10% rule. You got to be 10% smarter than the box.
Yep. All right. So we're back, and it's one of these kind of boxes, which is cool. It presents nice. That definitely presents nice. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
There's a lot in the box.
Like I said, there's a lot of miniatures in here, you guys. A lot of miniatures.
In the box.
So have been slacking for a while. So these are all they come with bases, but they are not attached bases. So you're going to see lots of bases in here as well of different sizes.
Okay.
And we'll just have to dig through and see what's what.
I'm going to deploy my knife in this.
You are definitely going to want to deploy the knife,
or scissors, probably.
Yeah, right. Something. Yeah, we're going to need a cutting object and use that liberally because there's lots of stuff in here to look at.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. This looks like a sci-fi piece. I don't know how well that's coming through. It's fairly small. And
there's a bit on the bottom there. I don't know if that's a broken off barrel or what that is.
Maybe. Yeah, that's a barrel of gun. That's a barrel of gun.
That's easy to fix. That's easy to fix.
That's a super fine piece. So this is like this looks like a Traveler or a Starfinder type piece. It's a female in powered armor. She's got a long kind of machine gunny laser rifle in one hand and kind of a cool futuristic looking tribal thing in the other.
And the reason I want to point out the repacking is that breakage could be 100% Mark's fault and 0%, on Chris and team. So
it is amazing, actually, the calibration of the resin that he uses. I have to point that out because in the first batch that you sent out to me, we had an archer who had a long bow. And the long bow was super long and super fine and super thin. And even though it got a little bit bent, it had no damage to it. It didn't break, which I was fucking impressed.
That's awesome.
All right. So we got a lot to do. Mike needs to get to work. So let's get the scissors going here. I probably should have had an assistant for this who could do it for me while we're going along. But
it's work for next time.
It is what it is. Ooh, that's a fucking sick ass looking sniper.
That is one of those 5e robot people who the constructs that I can never remember what they're called, right?
The Warforged.
The what? Warforged. Thank you. Yes, that's a Warforged guy with a crossbow, I believe.
That's fantastic. And the crossbow is like this crazy double recurve, weird fucking so cool. That's so fucking
Yeah.
little bit of futuristic edge, a little bit of
So you know what we should do for the next one, Mike? What we'll do is we'll plan this out a few weeks out. But here's what we should do for the next video. You and I are going to go through and we'll do a quick video of Chris's site. We'll put our order in, and then that'll be part 1, and then we'll do a part 2 when they actually show up, right? That is a cleric of some kind, I believe.
Yeah. Again, these guys all he's back to a standard fantasy, and it looks as though his weapon is also his holy symbol. You can see the fine detail.
Hey man, holy symbol of Brainia.
Yeah,
you know.
I smite you with the hand of God. If he's
exactly.
not the first one to want to do it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, bastards.
I will brain you with a cross, man.
There's something meaty in here.
Yeah.
Let's see. This has got a little bit more girth to it. Oh, hello. What do we got?
What do we got there?
Whoa. Which way does it go? It goes to the ground.
It went down. It went down. That's the way it went. It went down to the ground.
Okay. This looks like a beholder.
I think that's a crazy beholder thing. Yeah. That's a crazy beholder.
Fucking beholder thing.
Yeah, man.
And it has a real futuristic edge to it.
Yeah.
And he's kind of holding these weird kind of blades in 2 of his eye stalks, which is interesting.
Yeah. So this is the cool thing about waiting so long to unbox these. I don't even remember what's in here. So this is fun for me too, because I've forgotten what I ordered.
It's like watching a sitcom like years and years later when you've seen it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that's what we'll do is we'll do 2-part, right? We'll do an ordering video, and then we'll do an unboxing once they show up. That way, because I was thinking, how do we keep track of how do I not order stuff you already have? We'll just do a quick video and kind of run through the new order.
All right.
I like this plan.
Next one feels like another larger piece.
That is one of
That is a dwarven kind of ranger stalker, gloom stalker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the ranger. That's the ranger with the handheld crossbow and the dagger.
Blade forward.
Yeah, man.
Crossbow up. Really good.
Yeah, man.
It's actually, even for resin, it's got some good weight to it. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So a lot of these I think are larger than. So what are the standard sizes?
Well, 28 millimeter is the standard kind of rule of thumb for character figures, for mediums.
Gotcha.
But most people who know realize that it's actually the companies have been mislabeling their minis for a really long time, because the larger the number, the more detail you can get in them, right?
Right.
So they've been calling 34s and 32s. They've been calling those 28s for a really long time. So as a result, I think people have lost perspective of what a 28 actually is, because they're a little on the smaller side.
Yeah. Most of what you're looking at, guys, are not 28s. I sized them up to the next size at least, because I wanted the detail and I didn't really care about having it in the actual size.
This definitely looks 28 millimeter to me.
Gotcha. Some of them are 28, but some of them are whatever the next size up is.
And this is a Kitsune Bard. It looks like he's got a flute in his hand, judging from the little holes in it. He's got a massive fucking tail, which is cool.
Was it a flute? I thought that was like a little.
It looks like a
Japanese, like a little. Yeah.
It doesn't look like a weapon to me. It looks more like like an instrument.
Gotcha. I do. Like I said, I've forgotten. It's like I don't remember that character. I don't remember the beholder. I don't remember any of this stuff. This is great.
Yeah,
this is awesome. I'm having as much fun as you are, because I don't remember what I ordered. With the exception of like one character, which when he shows up, you'll see multiple sizes of the same guy.
So this is a fighter.
Yeah.
Cool detail on the shield. Beautiful detail on the shield. You can see his skirt and his breastplate. He's got kind of a gladiatorial, kind of Roman-esque style sword. He's cool.
Space, I think is what they're called. Is that what those are called? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong word. That type of sword, isn't it called a space? Or am I thinking of the wrong thing?
Don't make me do it right now.
Okay.
Don't make me do words right now.
All
right. Next up, we have cool. An alligator.
Yeah.
An alligator warrior.
Yeah, man. With a big ass sword pointing a finger.
With a big ass barbed tooth sword.
Yeah, you want some? He's just like you.
You know who this reminds me of?
Hmm.
It reminds me of the druid from Behind the Shield.
In a campaign that Mark and I play together, there's a crocodile man.
Oh yeah. That dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally
him.
forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that guy.
I might just have to paint that up, and if he ever comes back into play, we'll have to use that for that guy for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
He's perfect. You never see alligator or crocodile figures like that, bipedal alligator,
Right.
unless they're large.
Right.
They're always larger. They're never new.
Right. I remember getting this.
So
I love that. Mimic.
Yeah.
It's a mimic.
You know, it's really interesting because I have been a mimic proponent, as you know.
Yeah.
I've been a mimic proponent for decades.
For a minute, dude. For a minute.
I've written them into many of my stories and many of my campaigns, and I find it amusing and a little fun that mimics have become all the rage lately, and everybody's mimicking.
Yeah.
And it just shows that I'm a genius.
Exactly. Trendsetter, man, blazing the trail. Ahead of your time, bro.
Oh,
ahead of your time. That's bases.
These are bases.
That's some different bases. Yeah,
Okay.
there's some different bases, different styles.
All right. So,
I don't know which minis those go for necessarily, or that it even matters, right? I mean, but yeah. So some of these are plain bases, some of these are texture bases.
If they have a set mounting point, I think that's the only time it really matters.
I'm gonna let you figure all that shit out. That's on you, homie. I ain't even worrying about all that.
Of course, I'll get.
That's on you, bitch. That's on you, player.
I just wanted to show some of the different styles.
Yeah.
Stones and skulls, treasures, and all that kind of fun stuff.
So you can get, and they'll do normal base. They'll just do a flat base as well. You'll see a lot of those. So they're not all textured bases, and you can request the type of base you want for most of the minis.
I was just going to say,
if I recall.
Can you do rounds versus squares versus hexes?
Hexes, yeah. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Here's a perfect example, guys, of what I was talking about. If you look at how thin, as I'm bouncing this thing around,
if
you look at how thin this spear is that this figure is holding, you can see just how delicate that is. It is amazing. Look at that compared to my pinky. Okay? It's amazing how this shit doesn't break. And it doesn't. It's got a little bit of a bow to it, but I can sit here and I can manipulate it without it like snapping off. And of course, what do we have here?
As he says that, he's going to snap it. You watch him. He's going to break it. Put it down before you break it.
So this looks like a knoll.
Yeah.
This is a knoll warrior. Again, I'm impressed that it's a medium because usually knolls always show up as larges, which limits a dungeon master's ability to make different encounters. So here's a medium knoll, which makes me very happy to see. And that spear is fucking badass. My goodness. All right, let's get into something else here. Fasten your seat.
The worst part is I'm going to have to go backtrack and find all these and match them up to the. I may just go, here's a video, find the one you want.
Ooh.
It's in here someplace.
Oh, she's lovely. She is lovely. So this is a female warrior.
We're not getting a good focus on it. You might want to pull her back a little bit.
Looks like she's wearing more robes than just obvious armor, but she's covered, she's not wearing the stupid chainmail bikini thing. And she's got, if that was a knife, you'd call that a chopper.
Right. Yeah, I try and avoid the chainmail bikinis. I find that stuff frankly offensive and ridiculous.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
They're
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I should set this camera up instead of looking so well into the box at this point, looking more better into actually seeing the figures. What do you think?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, we can give it a try.
I'll pull that up here and let's see if I can make beautiful for y'all over here, because that's the whole point of seeing the figs, right?
Right.
So let's see if we can do like that. The problem with this camera is when it sees other backgrounds, it tries really hard to combine everything in one single thing, and that's not always a good thing. All right, so let's bring a few of these. Ooh, I got a big one.
Uh-oh. It could just be bases, though. We don't know. It could just be bases.
Could be bases. All right.
Yeah. So I don't remember. So this is fun for me because I'm like, I have no idea what I bought.
This is not bases.
Okay, it's not bases.
Ooh, this is a giant, is what this is. Holy hell. Let me get that straight so you can see him. I'm working with the camera here trying to figure out what fucking doing. So.
Oh yeah. So I don't even think he's a giant necessarily, or wasn't the intent. That's just like a warrior figure, and I got him in a large size. Certainly can be played as a giant.
Sorry for the shaky. I'm just trying to get it straight so you can see him. All right.
There you go.
Big, massive bastard sword over his shoulder and a nice short sword in his hand. You can see the blood channel. Very nice. Got a little BDSM harness on him there. He's a daddy. All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's fucking awesome. All right. So let's move him. Start another pile. There's going to be so much packing material when I'm done.
Oh yeah.
And I think
that's
all right.
Keeps us off the streets, man. Keeps us out of trouble.
Next up. Oh, she's badass. Oh wow.
Yeah, she is.
Badass.
Yeah, she is. She's totally badass. Yeah, that was one of those characters when I just saw the stance and I saw the hero pose. This kind of reminds me of my wife. She's just like, what's up? I'm a baller. I'll kill all of you motherfuckers.
So what I love about this figure is she is wearing body appropriate armor, but still showing the girls off, which I can appreciate.
Exactly.
It's on her terms.
Exactly.
Longbow across her back, quiver at her hip, and of course a nice scimitar.
Yep.
She might be a Sarenrae worshiper.
I love the hip quiver. So at some point we're going to run across the Darius figures that are in here. And I've got them in two different. I've got I think they're like either 3 or 4 of them in 2 different sizes. So 2 of them are like 28s, and then there's at least one of them that's big. So at some point I'm going to have you paint one of the large ones and send it back to me if you would be so kind. I would be most grateful.
So we have a female. I'm guessing she's a tiefling. Let me get this so it's over my shoulder. So it's actually having a problem.
I was to say, because we're still getting a bunch of blur at this end.
Plus I'm also turning them into a weird angle. So let me see if I can just get this thing so it's sitting. Yeah, I'm a rookie. Amateur hour here. Deal with it.
Yeah. Whatever. You guys don't like it, buy your own damn miniatures. Unbox them yourself.
Make your own unboxing video. Look, we'll just do a little knocking point fucking advertisement, a little unavoidable knocking point advertisement. They can pay us later. All right.
Yeah, they won't pay us.
What we have here, the problem is having the screen so I could see it at the same time. So that makes a big difference.
You just need a different background because we're not getting the bubble wrap isn't doing it, bro.
All right. Coming up.
The bubble wrap isn't doing it.
We need a nice solid background, like black.
So there you go. As I say, we need a black background.
There we go. So she's like a tiefling. I would guess her to be like a tiefling wizard or something, maybe a warlock, because she's got that wicked ass dagger. She's wearing all kinds of skirts with, skulls and pentacles and all kinds of fun things. So that would cover your Chelish. If you had a Chelish character that you wanted to be a worshiper of Asmodeus in one of your campaigns, she would be fantastic for that.
Yep.
Next up, we have a dude on a barrel. We have a dude doing a captain's pose on a barrel, which is fantastic.
Yep.
He's got the tricorn hat. Is it a dude or is it a woman? God. It's a man. Maybe.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. This is really gender non-specific because they're wearing like a vest that is built out and has a collar and covers like all the bits. So it can go either way. I love it. Foil in hand, leaning on with another foil in its scabbard at the waist, sitting on the barrel, which is always cool. Perfect figure for your nautical campaigns, or if you got a piratey kind of thing going on, you're running Skull and Shackles, or maybe one of the other ones. What's the D&D one? Sinister Secret of Salt Marsh. I'm sure that would fit in for that one as well, to show D&D a little love, like they fucking need it. All right.
So this badass, look at that spear. Again,
Yeah.
bitching, just bitching. And the spear itself, I'm going to show you the base real quick. The spear itself has its own flattened base and is intended to be glued down to give it extra stability. So this is a kick-ass figure. It's got a fleur-de-lis on the shield there in the upper corner, which is cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's bitching. Absolutely bitching. And again, the calibration on this resin is amazing. It's better than what any of the professional companies are producing. It is better than WizKids. It's better than all of them because their stuff just bends and holds that bend forever, or they calibrate it too high and it breaks off. This is a really, really nice in between. And we in one of our videos, our last videos, if you saw it, we actually talked to Chris about it. And he was telling us that not only is it about the resin, but it's how he calibrates it. And it's about the drying time versus the resins as well, how he gets that sweet spot. These
more
are
textured bases.
Yeah, these are beautiful. This has like wagon wheels and all kinds.
Oh wow, yeah, that's perfect. Hold it right where you had it, Mike. Right where you had it's perfect. Yeah, man. That's a base, you guys. That's a freaking base. What's up?
That's a medium
base. Yeah. That's crazy detail.
Bitty details. Here is whoa. I don't even know what the fuck, but this is a small base, judging from the size of it. But I want you to be able to see the detail of this one too. Come on, focus, bitch. Do it. Yeah.
Right there. Hold it. You got it right there. Wow, like the axe thing. See, I think that's the one for the guy with the two swords.
Oh, because he's standing up on one leg, so you mount him high.
Yeah. I think that's his base. And there might be a different version of, there might be a smaller version of that same character.
This is definitely by size. It's definitely a small base, so it might be for a smaller figure. But still, really interesting stuff. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Yep, got it all out of there. All right, let's bring some more.
Well, there might be a smaller version of that same character, because I know I did some of those where I'm like, I want a big version of this guy and I want a little version of this guy.
Sure. What I was going to say is I've got a couple of local buddies who are, I would say, 3D printing experts. And I would like to, is when we do this in the future, maybe also pull one of those guys in to get their, take on stuff, because they're both well-spoken gents. Vern and Wayne both, and I wouldn't mind having them on. This character has a very strong druid vibe and also wizard vibe. Could go either way. Is that focusing in? We getting it done? Kind of jumped up in the air in an action pose, has the antlers for the head, has a really cool staff. This could go a lot of different ways. Depending upon how you colored this figure, it could go a lot of different ways. Now, looking at the scale of this one is definitely, I lost Mark out for a little bit, but that's okay. He'll come back. Judging from the scale of this one, this is definitely bigger than a 28 millimeter, right? If you remember that fox that I put up versus her, I would put her at close to, I would put her in the 30s, in the mid 30s, judging from the size of it. Or maybe even a little larger, depending upon what the original art was. But she could fill a lot of spaces. And, as long as it's on a medium base, even if you have some bigger figures, you can still pull it off. It just gets a little weird sometimes for those of you GMs who are running games with physical figures. Not everybody does anymore. But for those of you who do, like myself, I try to keep figures of different sizes off the board at the same time, unless I'm trying to express a big difference in size. So I've got some old original Grenadier and Raupartha, and those figures are tiny. Those guys are all really small. They're like the equivalent to modern day looking dwarves because they're so small. All right, I'm pretty sure Mark's not here for it, which is amusing, but this is one of his characters. I'm almost positive this is a Darius figure, who is a Gloomstalker in our game. And he's got the double recurve, the longbow.
Look at how fine that arrow is. That's what I'm talking about. Now, we were talking about the bows before. How about an arrow? That arrow right there is 2 millimeters, maybe 1 millimeter thick. I don't even know. It is so tiny. You can kind of see that there's a little bit of a bend to it. Welcome back, sir. Good timing. We were just looking at, I'm assuming this is a Darius figure, isn't it?
Let me pull it up. I believe yes, that is
I knew it.
dashing Darius Longstride. That is the man himself. Yeah.
I knew it.
So there should be two sizes of him in there.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the larger one or the smaller one. It looks like the larger one, I think.
That was a 20. That was a playable mini, so that would be in the 20.
Was it? Okay.
Range. And I know you said you did him in 54 as well. So
I think so. Yeah. There's 2 or 3 of them in there. There's 2 or 3 of them in there.
Shit, is that nice? Wow. All right. Trying something new here. Maybe I put it down at more of an angle and you can see it a little bit better like that. Good detail. So
it's a little bit, we're getting a little bit of whitewash, but yeah, it's
so she is an Asian themed swords person.
Yep.
And she's wearing robes and the classic styled wide brim hat. You can see, it's hard to see on the camera. You guys can't see it on the camera. I can see the weave on the hat. The hat is showing a weave detail. It's that well. She's got 2 swords.
Yeah.
And she is gorgeous. Could fit a lot of places in any campaign. Good stuff.
Yep. Ooh, I may have to take a break here in a minute. My familiars are reminding me that it's
no problem. There's enough for me to do. I can just keep.
It's almost lunchtime. I'm going to hang as long as I can, but they're at this point they're threatening to call the ASPCA and or Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah,
so, I don't want to get myself in too much trouble.
Now that they know they're empowered. So here's a bunch of these look like the next size up. So these would probably be 54 millimeter pieces. So these are going to be little larger figures, which is cool. Yep. I often use bigger figures, as I was saying before. I use them all the time, and it's only when you start using them as mediums and you're having them right next to other small mediums does it become apparent. If you can kind of keep them separated, again, more bases.
Yep.
Cool little rock form structures. I'll burn through the bases real quick. We get to the next fig. Oh, geez. Just so delicate. So freaking delicate. This is a swashbuckler.
Yep.
This is a female swashbuckler. Let's see if I can get her. Look at how tiny this character is. Her waist is so itty bitty. She has a 6-pack.
Yeah, man.
Or at least you see the top of the 6-pack poking over the top of her pantaloons. She's wearing the fluffy pantaloons, and she has a fencing sword. This character is badass. She's in heels, everybody. She's in heels. Those are like hard to see. Those are like 4-inch heels. Yeah,
man, she's rocking it.
Right.
Yep.
That is a badass boss bitch right there. I love it. And she's got she's got her hair cut kind of short into a pony, which is tucked into the back of her shirt, which I did.
Nice.
Totally.
That's awesome.
Really good style stuff. Love it. See, I'm a big fan of unusual things. There's some run-of-the-mill figures where you've seen a million of that same character, a million of that same pose. I like the unusual stuff. And quite frankly, I'm a huge fan of bigger girls in miniature form. I like to see big girls being represented as well, and not just little skinny bitches with big tits. I'm for the full figured gal. There's like a fire elemental, or maybe it's a fire base. I would definitely paint that as fire, so that's sick. Love it. And of course, even in an unboxing video, Azmyth is going to put his opinions and his commentary into everything, as I've always done every single time. So if you've never met me before, that's what I do. Jesus, this is bad fucking ass. This guy has like the most wicked sickle. Look at that.
and it's so tiny, guys. This is a true 28 millimeter figure. He is so tiny. He's got, I guess, a skull in his hand. Look at the detail of that freaking sickle across his
Is it
back.
a skull? I thought it was like casting a spell. I thought it was like a spell ward thing.
Is it?
Is it a
just
skull?
spell effect? It's really tiny. My eyes won't focus that small. Neither will my camera. But he is wicked. You could use that as a death character. You could use that as a priest. You could use that as a lot of things. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We're not even a tenth of a way through the box.
Right. And so far we've had, knock on wood, we've had breakage of a single character, which again, I'm pretty sure that was a repackage, and I think that was my fault. Certainly more than potentially more than
so far.
Exactly. Yeah. A gun barrel and a clean break at that. So nothing that can't be easily fixed.
Nice. I would call her a paladin in full plate.
Yep. As would I. Yeah.
And she's got a beautiful sword that's her hand rest.
Yep.
All things going on there. These are gorgeous. Gorgeous. They're going to be very, very challenging to paint because the scale and the detail is so fine.
Right. Well, and at some point you'll have to come back, Mike, once you've painted up some of these guys and show off some of your painted figs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Woo! I'm loving this, and I don't even know what he's looking like yet. Oh, this is so cool. I don't know what he is, but he is so freaking cool. Let me see if I can keep him standing up so you can see the coolness of him. Let's see if I can keep. No, he won't stay standing without a base. Anyway,
he's some kind of shaman, I think.
He has pointed ears. He's very like, but he doesn't look elven.
He could be like part elf, right?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Or he could just be fey-blooded. He could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
He's wearing a wolf pelt. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not a wolf. That is a badger. So he's got a badger pelt as his main shoulder dressing. And he's got this cool ass armor skirt on the bottom. He's kind of kilted. He's so cool. This is my favorite one so far. That's my favorite one out of the box so far. He is bitching. So I'll tell you guys a little secret. I'll give you.
And while he's doing that, I'm gonna go feed my familiars because they won't leave me alone. I'll be back. Come on.
I'll unbox a few of these, and then when you come back, we'll look at them. So one of the secrets I was going to let you guys in on is one of the things that I do when I'm building my own homebrew or I'm writing an encounter of my own. I'll go through miniatures like this, these random picks and pulls and things, and see if I can find inspiration or to see if I can find matches to ideas that I've already introduced, which happens a lot of the time. Like I was saying, the crocodile there would work great for the druid that's in my story already. So if you have the opportunity to do kind of a random pick and pull, whether you're doing a 3D miniature purchase or whether you are buying random sorted packs, which these days, I'm sorry to say, these days, that's not a good way to go. $15 for a randomly pulled pack. You get one guaranteed large and 3 or 4 mediums and a small. I mean, you can almost do better than that buying them from Etsy sites and from 3D printing sites. The only difference being is they're not painted. Some people would argue that you could consider what comes out of the Chinese factories as being considered painted. It's mostly just background base colors and such. Nothing to write home about, certainly. But if you're not a person who is ever going to break out paints, if you don't own paints and that's not you, then maybe the pre-painted ones are a better alternative. Or if you have a friend in your campaign, if you're a GM, the best thing you can do as a dungeon master, as a game master, is network this shit out. So maybe you find out that one of your players is an exceptional miniature painter. Well, you know, there's a way to work that out, and that doesn't have to be, again, it doesn't have to be greasy. It can be a good thing. So I have a couple players who are excellent painters as well. But as I said, they do that professionally. This is how they make that's their side hustle. That's their side gig. So I'm not going to ask them to do that for free, just like I don't want them to ask me to run games for them for free, because that's my side hustle. That's how I make my money, right? It's actually not even my side hustle. It's my only hustle now. So, there's all sorts of cool stuff coming out. So I'm just kind of busting out a bunch of them, and then we'll look at them all in kind of a row when Mark gets back, so he can, if there's any kind of inspiration or stories or reasons why he decided to pick them, he can share that with us. Oh, very cool.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
I actually heard most of that conversation, so it cut out a little bit, but yeah, I got most of it. Really the only inspiration for any of the characters was Darius. Everything else was just, that looks cool, and Mike will dig it, and I dig it, and that's why I got it. Yeah, female caster with like some kind of spell in her hand. You can do fire. You could do kind of anything you want with that one. I think
you could do colors, but I'm sure it's kind of suited to be fire, but that's beautiful.
It could be, but you could do green and do like a nature thing, or you could do blue and do water. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff with that. Crazy evil toad thing. I can't really see it. It's a little blurry-ish. Yeah, we're not getting it.
Come on, fucker.
Not getting the goods. There we go. There we go. Right there. You got it. Perfect. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Horny toad, even in the eyeballs.
Yeah,
he's crazy looking.
Horny toad. Freaky dude.
Even in the eyeballs.
Staying with the coolness, we've got I guess I don't know what the lion race is, but he looks like
he is, yeah, he's that lion race. I can't remember what they're called either, but yeah, we're not getting the.
You gonna focus?
Yeah, pull it back a little bit, maybe. Yeah, well, good enough.
Anyway, he is cool. He's got like this cool kind of curvy looking weird blade. Looks kind of like a Klingon weapon. Like it's cool looking, but you'd never use one in real life because it just looks like it hurts you more than it hurt the bad guys.
Right.
We have another swashbuckler. Looks like it's the same figure. You might have gotten two of these because this is the short-haired female swashbuckler, which I'm not angry. I am not angry that there's two of these because
no, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. That's a great figure.
I don't hate it at all because that just opens up encounters,
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Gives you the ability to fight against multiples.
Different paint jobs, you could do all kinds of stuff.
We have a little itty bitty cleric here. Ooh, there we go. Look at those dudes.
Right, yeah, a guy with the book and the yeah. No, I dig him. He's got the plate piece and that was just one of those. I looked at it, it's like I just love the figure. You know what I mean? So some of these is just the figures themselves kind of sold it to me.
This guy has to focus in because you have to be able to see this detail. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Come on, fucker.
Bring it back a little bit. There we go. You almost got it. Yep. There he is.
So he's like a warforged with a couple of weapons. He's got a chopper in one hand and a gun in the other.
Yeah. Which
is pretty cool.
Yeah, I swear, there's like a lot of this stuff I just don't even remember ordering.
Yeah, he could fit into a lot of campaigns, actually. That could have been, that could be fantasy with the weird Eberron kind of twist to it. That could be the Warforged from Eberron. That could also be, more of a modern thing. That could have been power armor for all you know, if you like that style and you like that look. How you want to introduce technology into your game. What do we got here? We have a Valkyrie, or not a Valkyrie. We have a Berserker with the most unbelievably long sword I have ever seen in a figure ever. So if this man stood 6 foot tall, his blade would be 8 foot long. Easily.
That's a sword.
Let me grab it from the other side so you can see the full majesty of the girth.
Damn, that's a long ass sword.
It's like a lance, but it's not. That's a sword blade. And it looks like the hilt of the blade, it's really hard to see on the camera, but the hilt of the blade locks into his forearm plate.
Huh.
At least that's how it looks to me. And then he's also got, like, he needs another freaking weapon. He's got that pointed war hammer thing in his other hand. He's ridiculous.
You got the zoom right there. See, so you had it zoomed for a second there.
We could have used this guy in the recent war between the giants and the what the hell are they called? The Goliaths.
Yeah.
The Goliaths and the giant war. That guy could have been he could have worked as a Goliath.
Yeah.
That would have been.
You know what you might try is one of those little flight platforms that you use and just set the figures on that. That way you don't have to keep zooming in and out. Maybe we can find a good focus point. You know what I mean?
I thought about that, except those damn things are clear, and I
right.
I don't think it'll create contrast. So maybe I'll put one of those up and put a card stock or something on top of it,
or put a cloth over it. Put a colored cloth on top of it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Right. Well, handkerchief or something. You know.
About the flag a little bit, because people seem to really love these things. And I guess they're not readily available or something, because I thought Paizo still sells them. These flight bases here. These are some of the best things I've ever bought as a dungeon master. They're a modular system. They're marked in squares this way. They're also etched in squares this way. So
those things are awesome.
Bunch of different configurations. This configuration right here would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So character says I'm 50 feet up in the air, and we put them 50 feet up in the air. Boom.
Yeah.
I don't need it this tall. Let's take some height off of it. And then maybe we do like this. And we put the book on it.
Yeah.
Focus on the book.
And then you either need to bring it down a little bit or move your camera up.
Oh yeah. No, I'm getting there.
But that way you don't have to keep doing the in and out with your hand kind of thing. I think you can probably find a better zoom point, right, where it'll just or a focus point. That's maybe what I'm trying to spit out.
The trick is to get the whole image in.
Oh, sure.
So it's not trying to fight with the other. So let's do a test.
Yeah.
So this is the guy I just did. And he is like he looks like a goblin.
Yeah.
With a cannon.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's a skeleton. He's a skeleton of a goblin with a cannon.
With a cannon.
He's hoisting a ship's cannon in one hand, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And he's got like a torch in the other.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's better focus. It's better focused than what we had. So I'd say let's keep with this.
Super unusual. Yeah, let's see. I'm sure I can do better all the way around here. Again, this is a kind of a spur of the moment. I'm like, oh yeah, we should do this thing.
Yeah.
It's been a while, as I said before. So let me get some light on that subject. That'll probably help quite a bit. All right. Let's see here.
And don't worry, guys. Future versions of this video will be just as disorganized as this one. They're not going to get any better. They're not going to get any worse, but they're not going to get any better. Just to set expectation.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So I think the trick is to get him facing on, looking at him like that, maybe a little bit more. What do you think? How's that work?
It's better. I mean, it's better than what we had. So yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah. So this guy is like some kind of a defender, some kind of champion. He's got a modern edge to him though, because his weapon looks like a chainsaw. So this would be perfect for your Iron Gods games. Yeah, he's also like a jetpack on his back. So this
is kind of Warhammer-esque sort of, it's not a Warhammer figure per se.
Yeah.
Because it's not, I don't believe it's Games Workshop, but it's got that kind of Warhammer feel to it.
Oh, it's definitely not Games Workshop. It's not, it wouldn't be official. It wouldn't be okay to print it if it was.
Correct. Yeah. But that's my point is it's got that same kind of Warhammer 40K vibe kind of, but it's not an actual Warhammer figure. That was one of those I just thought, I'm like, that's a great figure. I have to get it just because the design of the figure itself, I thought was so awesome.
Yeah.
Right. I just looked at it and went, wow, that's a fucking cool ass figure.
Yeah. The wings are detail in the wings are stupendous. And the flaming sword is, well, flaming.
It's a flaming sword. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
pretty fat ass, man. That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
a good one. I approve. That's a good fig. That's a real good fig. All right.
No more coffee. Damn it. Oh,
Getting
well.
into the next one here. Some of these have 2 pieces of tape on them. You got
Yes, they
Inspired.
do.
More bases.
Yeah.
More cool
Some of
bases.
those were just there. I opened them and then went, oh, and then ended up rewrapping them
Yeah, more
and
cool
put
bases.
another piece of tape back on. So that could be me.
Lots of cool bases, which you can never have enough cool bases. Never.
Yep. Agreed.
I also find that this resin glues to itself pretty easily, pretty well. So if you're doing repairs and you're doing these kind of things,
That was just a cool demi-lich
yeah,
thing. I think that
dig it.
was just one of those figures that I'm like, yeah,
you
Demi-lich.
could also, if you wanted to, you could do this in a clear and light blue kind of design scheme and make it a will-o-wisp. Because will-o-wisps will sometimes appear as skulls momentarily when they're trying to scare the shit out of you. You know.
Gotcha.
Oh, here's one loose without wrapping. That's interesting.
That was my fault. That was my fault.
I'm gonna have to back up so you can see this guy.
That's the bard. Yeah, one of the bards. There's a smaller version of him as well. He just had like an Ozzy Osbourne kind of look, and I'm like, this is just the greatest looking character ever.
He's got his
for a bard.
Fingers up in the air.
Exactly.
Stephen will appreciate that. SLR will appreciate that.
Yeah. So it was just
his BDSM buckle pants, which I saw a lot of this design at Folsom this last weekend.
Yeah.
He's cool.
So I know there's a smaller version of that same character. I just thought if I ever played a bard, it would be a guy like that because he looked cool.
Sure, absolutely. Why the hell not? All right. If I see bases, I'm going to avoid opening up the bases because they're just going to be different various.
It's just bases. Yeah, it's just bases, and they're great. But yeah, it's really about the rest of it.
Okay, so she is sort of a what do they call this race in Pathfinder? We dealt with these things a lot. Vishanti, I believe they are the octopus people. We had
I don't know.
We had a little bit of breakage with this. Looks like the tip of her spear came off, and again.
So we've gone through what, maybe 50 figures, and we've had two clean break points that are easy to fix.
As you can see, the end of this spear, that's a millimeter. You know,
and again, I would state for at least the third time in this video, this is a repackage, so both of these breaks are probably my fault and not the Creepy Prince people, because I repacked. Basically, I had 2 boxes of miniatures that I got from Chris and team, put them into a single box, sent them to Mike.
Can you see how detail of her crown is?
Yes, I can.
Her crown ends in pieces and bits that are smaller than a millimeter.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. It's amazing. That's a great fig. All right. Next but not least. Last
but certainly not last. We're not going to get to last for a minute.
Jesus Christ.
Told you. I told you. I saw you a lot of miniatures, man. I don't screw around with that stuff.
Do we have a time cutoff for YouTube, or can we just keep going on stuff?
No, I don't think so. We'll keep going till they kick us out. Yeah.
That guy is sick. He's got so many points and so many cool little flares between his staff and his cloak is on fire, or it's billowing to look like fire. He's amazing. He could be done as an elementalist. He could be done really dark and creepy as well. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have looks like we have a female cleric with a big ass.
Yes. Or paladin. I looked at her and saw a paladin myself. Okay. But yeah, no, straight badass with a hammer. That was one of those just like she's a fucking badass.
There's a tiny little thing here that says geisha lamp. Do you know what that is?
There's it's probably related to that geisha lamp. My guess is that Asian figure with the 2 swords. Oh, that's probably something for her, for the samurai, a female samurai with the 2 swords with the wicker.
Yep.
I'm guessing that's for her.
Okay.
That's a guess without knowing what else is in the box.
Okay. All right.
So
No,
that's where I would start.
It looks like the geisha lamp was printed in clear resin. So it's really hard to see because it's clear.
So the other thing, here's the other thing that you can do. Is reach out to your boy Chris at Creepy Prince and go, hey Chris, what's this for? Because you know he'll tell us.
Next up, we have another one of the bigger figures. This guy has like definitely a sorcerer's vibe. I'll back up a little bit for him.
There may be a smaller version of him as well. Some of these, again, I got in large casts just because I wanted to, because I love the detail. You know, back it up a little bit because we're still getting some blur on it.
It's hard to see the bigger ones because I need to give it a bit.
So that's like, I believe those are 55s is what those are, guys. Just if you're curious what the size difference is. So a lot, those would be probably larges, I would guess.
You could do these
or giants. So
you could get away with 2x2s. He could be a giant, or some other large race. He could also. I mean, this could be based as a 3x3, but he would be small for a 3x3. But still,
gotcha. Okay.
Great figure.
Okay.
Great figure.
Yeah.
And you'll see that from time to time the color of the resin will change from a lighter gray to a darker gray depending upon the batch and what you're working on. Here's another large one that's going to open up with very little resistance. So let's do this.
So this is just a fighter, and it's hard to see from there, but he's got just this cool scar down his face. And he's kind of half drawing a sword. And I love it was one of those again where it's like I saw the miniature and was just like, I have to have it. It just looks really cool.
There's that scar.
Yeah. But yeah, great detail. And again, this is a 2x2, 3x3 size kind of thing, 55 millimeter.
Yeah. Again, having a giant in full plate mail armor, there aren't too many of those options. Usually you see them decked out in different kits. So that's kind of cool.
That wasn't my intention. It was really just, I wanted to see a bigger version of that character.
Sure.
So I didn't really go, I'm buying these as giants. Just I want, because again, you'll see like the Darius guy, my Ranger. Yep. There's a 55 version of him. There might even be 255 versions of him, and then a couple of the 28s as well. So and that was really just because I wanted a larger version of him at some point painted.
This is a deer creature.
Yeah.
That's a deer man.
Oh yeah. Now that I do remember. Yeah, the deer ranger guy. He's cool.
He's got cloven hoofs.
Yep.
And a full set of antlers, proper head. He's really cool.
Yep.
For you folks who love your anamorphics, he would be a fantastic creature, fantastic miniature for that character. Ooh, wow. This guy's ridiculous. I'm gonna have to move.
What'd you find?
We got another big one. Another big one. So this guy.
See, to me, again, that screams paladin with a hammer. And it was one of those, I saw the figure and went, I have to have that because it's just angry paladin with a hammer running at you.
Yeah.
He's got like these armored, like winged gauntlets on. That's what you're seeing, on his feet are these big winged gauntlets. Yeah. And it was one of those, I saw the figure and I'm like, thought it would make a great player character, but again, in that size can use it as an armored, whatever you want. Giant Titan, big ass guy. Yeah.
Big lion on his shoulder pad there. This harkens back to the old school of original Dungeons and Dragons where clerics weren't allowed to use edge weapons because it was against their religion. And they had to use weapons. So I suppose that's why I'm like, ooh, that's a fucking cleric with
I will blunt weapon you into the ground with my big ass hammer. So yeah.
Okay.
So I never created it, but that character I specifically got. I was going to play a gnome at some point, and I still might. So it's a gnome with a cat, and he's a caster.
He's brilliant.
And the gnome's name is Oren von Babel, and his cast name is Lord Spooky Pants.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. That character's great.
Yeah.
And again,
I'm pretty sure there's a smaller version of that too.
To have a small giant, you could either do him as a small giant, or you could do him as a very, very large humanoid. He's a great figure. Really.
Yeah, but I believe he's actually supposed to be a gnome.
He looks like a gnome.
Yeah.
He does look like a gnome. Okay, so he was. That's what I was thinking of the same one. Yeah. So there might be a smaller version of him as well.
Here's your dwarven ranger again.
Yep.
Crossbow.
Yep. Yeah, man. See, this guy's, I don't know if it's the same. It's similar, but this guy has a two-handed crossbow. The other guy had a single hand, like a one-handed crossbow and like a dirk in his hand, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, same kind of character where you've got a great gnome ranger, great detail, great figure. And again, given the size, because that's a 2x2, you could use him as a giant, right?
Yeah, you could. We could also build a hell of a diorama too with these larger figures.
Sure. Or you could just, you can make a kick-ass diorama.
Make a hell of a diorama with all these characters.
Or do both. Make a diorama and still use them as giants also. You can do both of these things are possible, right? Both of these things are possible. What do we have here?
We have...
That was just another character that I looked at and went, that's like a witch hunter or something like that. Is there such a thing as a witch hunter?
I think that would fit the bill. He also has a bit of a sailory vibe to him because of the vest.
Yeah.
And because of the weapon.
I think this is actually better without the black screen, Mike, because the reveal of you unwrapping is cooler than the black screen.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, he's got to see, and it's great detail on that. I mean, the torch and the sword and just all of it. Yeah. So a lot of these figures, and this is what's great about a lot of these STLs, a lot of these figures that you look at on Creepy Prints, right? You'll see a bunch of different variations of different heads or different weapons that they can put or items in their hands. Like that figure, I'm pretty sure there was multiple variations, and I picked the sword and the torch. So it's one of those where you're not locked into those two options. You can actually pick multiple options. That is another Darius character. Yes, so that's another Darius Longstride, my archer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and again, we've seen multiple versions of this, and I specifically opened and looked at all of those. All three of his characters, I mean, all look great. They all look the same. They're all printed at the same quality. Do you know what I mean?
You'll see, guys. You'll see that arrow. That arrow is
not attached.
It's not attached. It's floating.
Yeah. What the fuck? Exactly. Are you serious right now with that? Exactly. Are you serious right now?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
Like, hello.
Right? Are you serious right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
So one of the tricks that I do on my figures, because I like to modify and I like to, as you know, Mark, I like to tweak figures out. And one of the things, bows are always sadly misrepresented because none of the figure manufacturers will ever put an arrow on the bow unless it's just kind of like a ridge detail. You'll never see an arrow like that, right? Right. I working in the AV field, I got my hands on a lot of fiber optics, and I found fiber optic works really good. A strand of fiber optic is super flexible and really, really solid for making arrows and for making bow strings as well. Yeah, because that's the other thing you never see. So
Angry Cleric, I love the Angry Cleric. So this. Now, granted, he has a full beard, right? I am the same degree of bald or close, right?
This could be
if I was a cleric, I'd be that guy.
Yeah.
Because he's an angry cleric, he's bald, he's got a little bit of a gut there. I got the gut going on, so I'm digging him, and he's got his book of fucking holy whatevers and a smiting hammer to smite people, hammer of smiting to smite you with.
I want you to see the page details in that book. The corners of the pages are upturned.
I know, right?
It's not just flat, like that little bump inside there. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing the pages kind of ruffled on his book. You can also see the bookmark coming off the book and rolling down the side.
And so flipping back and show the back of the character. And one of the things I want you guys to notice is that there's potting that you're seeing, kind of that pitted look on the cape.
Which is
that's part of the design.
Yeah,
be clear. It's like, it's on purpose. It's part of the design. It's not a flaw in the sculpt. That's by design. That's supposed to look like that.
You could tell if you look in these ridges that are on edges like that. These are not bubbles. These are by design.
Right. Yeah.
And I think
I just want everybody to see that's not a flaw. That's a feature, not a bug. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Right.
That's what we expected. You'll see a lot of that on the capes because you want to have kind of a mottled, worn, weathered look to the cape, cloak, fabric, and that's what they're going for there. That's what they're doing.
All right. So these
Those
are
just discus.
a whole package of plain
Just
54 and 72 probably millimeters.
copy that.
Which
Copy that.
are not great for eye candy. So we'll move on.
Yeah, we care about give us the sexy. Yeah, baby. One of my favorite characters of all time. I love this figure. That is the coolest barbarian I've ever seen.
Yep.
Female, male, doesn't matter. Coolest figure on the planet. I'm pretty sure there's a smaller version of that. Would love to see that painted at some point.
Well, you know what? Interestingly enough, it is a female character, and she is wearing binders.
Yeah.
So maybe she doesn't identify that way, because she is definitely wearing binders. That's cool.
you can identify that character however you want. It's a badass figure. I want to see it painted. I want to see. That was just. It was one of those figures where I have spent probably an hour looking at digital versions of that character total time, just because it's such a beautiful sculpt.
Yep.
It's such a beautiful sculpt. And I want to see it painted. So there may be a smaller version of that as well.
Okay.
But yeah, one of my all-time favorites. And,
so
clearly looks amazing.
Besides the Darius figure getting painted, she would be one of your priorities to get painted?
Yes, please.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Who do we got?
Yeah.
Oh, we have a monk. We have
man. Yeah, man. Elven monk. It's an elven monk.
Amazing. I hate monk player characters generally. I don't like monks.
Dude.
This guy's badass.
That is a baller monk. And there might be a smaller one of that, because again, this was one of those, if I ever played a monk, it would be that guy.
Look at the spiked club on that dude. The double head.
Yeah.
Double head club. He's got his top in the action pose, throwing his hair around. He's got his hand in a fucking concentration key position.
He's in a fighting stance. Yeah, man.
Winner. That is a winner. Beautiful figure. Beautiful figure. Okay. This looks like we're getting back into, and again, having a giant that can be a monk is also great, because now it opens up all kinds of possibilities. All your giants don't have to be mindless thugs who all wield the same weapon.
They do not.
This is an
mind flare.
An illithid.
Yep. AKA a mind flare.
Yep. And one of his hands has this dope ass spiral effect. And again, guys, you've got to see the detail of this. This is not just a solid piece.
Yeah,
this is
pull it in.
It's a screen. It's an actual spring kind of effect. Let me turn it around so you can see. And it's sort of like it has the vortex. It has the vortex vibe to it. You know, like he's casting the charm spell. The vortex uses you. That's exactly
right there. Stop. You got it right there. There it is. There it is. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That shit. That is impressive.
Dude, the detail on that, and I mean, just the detail on his clothes, right? Like the cracks and the little crevices on his shoulder piece, the details in the staff.
Yeah, he's impressive.
Yeah, and just the flexibility of that swirl, and the fact that that's there, and it,
bases.
Yeah, crazy. What else we got?
We have another large. We have
that's my Rockstar guy again. It's the Rockstar guy again. Rockstar Bard. You see the smaller version, or see the same one?
Those are the same.
Different resins, but. Look at that. Look at the quality, right? Different resins, same sculpt, same level of detail, right? Look at that quality, people. Creepy Prince. These guys do not fuck around. They know what they are doing.
Yeah.
They know these are consummate professionals. Make no mistake.
Yeah. And, you know, we're also eager to help Chris out, because the pandemic was not kind to small businesses. And you know, and I'm sure I personally don't know if the war with Ukraine and Russia is affecting him in Romania directly. I can't see how it isn't. I would see that all of Europe would be affected on some level. So anything that we can do, oh my God, dude.
Yeah. And again, Chris, my apologies for the delay in getting back to this. I'm a lazy human, totally my fault. And I'm going to get my ass in gear
Are you
Yeah.
shitting me with this guy?
Yeah, man. Death Knight, baby.
That is an incredible figure. The expression on his face,
Yeah. Skull, the flaming skull in his hand.
the flaming skull, the furrow of his brow, the deep etching. I mean, fucking deep etching in his blade. The etching in his blade is deeper than the arrows were wide on the other one. It is insane. This figure is gorgeous. Yeah, dude. Yeah. This could be a Death Knight. This could be a Magus. This could be a lot of fucking things. This
I think he's billed as a Death Knight, but again, do with what you will.
Sure.
Make him into whatever you want.
And I was saying, I'm sure you heard me while you were AFK. I was saying a lot of times I let figures inspire my runs. Right. So, I'll see something and I'll be like, oh, that I should make that into a blah. Or
yeah. No, it's a solid plan.
It's a very solid design secret that I've been doing for years and years. So don't work hard, work smart. That's basically the moral.
Exactly.
We have a mechanical dog. So here we have a complete construct dog. It's mechanical. It's hard to see because he's a small. I would call this a small. He's not even a medium.
I don't remember ordering a mechanical dog. What if he came with the construct?
Fantastic. This would be a fantastic familiar for any.
I wonder if he goes with that construct guy.
I don't know, but he is fantastic. This is a little construct.
That's awesome.
Canine. All of his joints have little hinges and little wheels, and you can see hydraulic lines on him, and he is phenomenal. Yeah, that's
awesome. That's awesome.
All right, we have another big one.
What else do we have?
Oh, you really like this guy.
This is just great dwarven figures, man.
Yeah.
It's part of it is that the Lion Tower sculpts. I mean, I'm just a big fan of Lion Tower, and forgive me, whoever the sculptor is, I can't remember the person's name. But he's great, like dwarven sculpts, and I was like a fan of that style.
The style and the detail.
Yeah.
Crossbow.
Yeah.
Impressive. Like the detail period, like it's very well thought out. Sometimes I look at figures and I kind of just presume that space was filled with a shape. You know what a lot of the dwarven, so you'll remember these. I think they were called doodle art, right? When you were a kid, like they'd have these really complicated things, like a line drawn thing, and then you're supposed to like take these colored pens and like color them in all different colors, right? But they were these amazing drawings. Do you remember what I'm talking about? I do.
And so when I look at some of those dwarven figures, I think of the same thing. Like you were saying, when you said the design thing, it's just, they're made so well. So this was the other bard. And I actually had a name. I can't remember what it was. So I can't remember the character's name, but what I decided was that was going to be a bard, and that the mic that they were singing with was not only going to be a musical instrument, but also their weapon. Yeah. Because you could beat somebody with it. Yeah, you could beat somebody with it.
Totally looks that way. That would be a great magic item, because it wouldn't be an electronic microphone. It would be something that magically projects your voice, and then you could
And so the joke was going to be, I was going to name it Mikey the Magical Mike.
Can you see
the weapon?
Can you see the wire form on the microphone? It actually looks like a microphone.
The mesh on the front. Yeah. I can't at the moment, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's great because you can actually see that texture, right?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's also an elf, and he's got his ear multiple pierced on one side. He's got a big ring in the other. He's fantastic. He's probably.
I thought that was a gnome. Is it a gnome? That could be either, I guess. Right? Could be either.
If he's a gnome, then this is a 34.
That's the thing. I got a bigger. It's not a 28. Yeah, it's not a 28. I guarantee you, it's not. And that was intentional on my part.
He probably was supposed to be.
There might be a 28 version of that, but I'm pretty sure that was a gnome. That's a gnome barter. At least that's what they build it as.
Wow.
Just another one of those cool bases for something, or is that a?
Yeah, it's a.
Yeah, that's a base.
It's a cool base with like a broken and splintered tree.
That might be. So I think that one of those crazy bases is one of the ones where the guy with the two swords, the barbarian, where he's got one slung over his shoulder and then he's holding the other one out.
Yeah.
There's a base like that he stands on. And I don't know if it's that one or another one.
Okay.
But it's for one of those guys. But again, if you're not sure, ping Chris and team.
Right. We are more than halfway done. More than halfway. Let me move this over here.
Nice. How am I doing time wise? Okay, I'm still good on time.
Fantastic. Ooh, we got another.
Yeah, man.
Really, here's the big Darius.
That's the other big Darius.
That's the big Darius.
That's the big Darius. Yeah. So that one, there might be two of those. If there are two of those, I would love for you at some point to paint one of those big ones and send it back to me just so I can put it on my desk. Yeah. But that is the original concept for Darius. When I created the character originally, that's kind of the vision that I had was this character. And again, you can see the arrow is not connected, just like it wasn't in the other version, right? In the smaller one.
Actually, this one is.
Is it?
It's not supposed to be, but it looks like it glued. It looks like it dried that way. Because I could see all the way around, and there's just a little bit holding it on there. So I think it just dried that way.
Gotcha.
But the markings on the bow, the ornamentation on the bow is just, he's just sick.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is a little smaller piece. What do we got here? Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Another tiefling, I think, with very, very fine blades. You can kind of see.
Yeah, in both hands. And
as
again,
I turn them sideways, you can actually see the edging on these blades. That's how fine they are.
Yeah, and again, so far we've had 2 clean breaks, and that's it. Everything else has been legit, no breakage.
She is incredible, and she's got that kind of anime piping that's coming off the back of her skirt on both sides. She is amazing. Really, really pretty figure. Great power pose. And again, you will never see that pose with those swords in a miniature made by a company mass produced. It just won't ever happen. Can't.
Yeah, man, STL is the only time you're going to see that.
They cannot do those thin prints. They cannot do that level of calibration in an injected plastic mold, which is what all of theirs are. Until 3D printing becomes viable on that level, where they have massive, thousands of unit at a time 3D printers, then I suppose they'll get there. But right now, no competition.
It doesn't seem like it's worth it, frankly.
What have you done?
Oh, there you go.
What have you done?
Isn't she great?
Lord.
Isn't she great? Isn't she amazing?
Dude, that pose is sick.
Yeah, man. That was another one of those where I saw the figure and I'm like, I have to have this figure. I have to have it. Right? Dude, the level of detail.
I would call her an alchemist.
Yeah.
And the reason why is this staff has a vessel on the end of it that she clearly has a concoction in. I would definitely call her an alchemist. And she's so cute. So cute. She's adorable. High cheekbones, little pointy pixie nose. Oh, good Lord, is she adorable. And that hat. Man, I would wear that.
It's a great figure.
Azmyth
that's the thing. A lot of these, it's like you just see them and you're like, I have to have a figure. Yeah.
Oh, and she's got her little heels on. Oh, she's adorable. She's adorable. She might be my new favorite.
Yeah.
She might be my new favorite in the bunch. Is this basis? No, this is an actual fig. Okay. Okay. Yep, she's in there. Or he's in there.
Somebody's in there. They're in there.
She's in here. Oh.
Which one is this?
Dude, they just keep getting better and better and better. Holy shit.
Telling you. That's yeah. So again, this is one of those where I saw her and I'm like, dude, that's a caster right there. And she is fucking straight. Exactly. She's awesome, right?
I would I would what do they call that? Not pronounce marriage. I forget the word. Anyway, she's beautiful. Look at that.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She's
Gorgeous
fantastic.
blade. Lots of like quick draw potion bottles with just a strap over the top of them.
Yeah. So you can do
pouches.
Right. You can do alchemist, you can do thief, you can do, some kind of various. She's a caster of some kind because she's casting something in her hand there, right? She's got a ball of something.
She could be an arcane caster or
exactly
the rogue arcane trickster. She could definitely be an arcane trickster.
She could be an arcane trickster. Yeah, you can do whatever you want with that.
I love her. I am all about your picks, dude. You pick some good stuff.
So like I said, the next video, what we'll do is we'll just go in, we'll roll through the site, we'll pick a bunch of stuff together, we'll order those, and then we'll do the follow-up right once they show up. We'll do the unboxing.
Oh, okay.
Yep. To me, that's another paladin.
He's definitely got the paladin vibe.
Yep.
He looks like the brother of the bald cleric with the big hammer.
Yep.
Like maybe that's like something that they do. They shave their head as part of the sect. Again, lion motif goes along with the sit.
Yeah. Love that sword.
Beautiful sword. Beautiful inscription on that sword.
Yeah. Just great detail, right?
Reoccurring
great detail.
Theme. A lot of these guys have the fur pelt over the breastplate. Yeah. This guy's wearing breastplate with shoulder holster, shoulder pads, and then nothing on his pants. He looks like he's just wearing regular pants for mobility, and then the iron again on his feet. He's fantastic. Yeah. He's a great figure. Great fig. All right, so we've got an inner layer protecting an outer layer here. Okay, look at you with the extras here. All the extra pads. Looks like we're down to the last layer of big figures.
Gotcha.
So we appreciate you hanging out with us for as long as you have this morning, because I honestly did not realize it was going to be this much. You knew.
He's like, no, it's going to be really quick. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. There's a lot of stuff in this box.
I'm glad we got started early on the West Coast.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because, people got shit to do. So some more bases. All right. This feels big and beefy. Ooh, I see an axe. I see a big friggin' axe. Oh, Jesus Christ, with the detail on this thing. Good Lord.
It's another one of these dwarves. His dwarves are amazing.
Yeah.
These dwarves are freaking amazing. I mean, the combination of and when I say his, I'm talking about Lion Tower. The Lion Tower STLs are brilliant. And you stack on top of that, Chris and Creepy Prince with their prints. Dude's got a big mug of ale on his waist. I love that.
Right there. Yeah.
That's a mug of ale. Yeah. He's like, I got my axe, I got my stuff, I got my beer. I'm not fucking around.
This shield he's carrying, guys, it's stone.
Yeah.
You look at the back side of it, that's carved out of stone. He's wielding a stone shield. That is fucking dilly dope. Look at that axe. Look at that axe.
Yeah, man. The detail is just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is beautiful stuff. Really beautiful. All right. On to the next one. Let's see what we got here. Looks like we're staying on theme. Oh, not a dwarf. Two-sword fighter.
This was going to be, if I ever played a thief, this was going to be my elven. This is going to be my thief or assassin or what have you. But yeah, just an amazing elf with swords in each hand.
Yeah, right. Look at the curves on these blades.
I mean, great details. Yeah. Great detail.
Blades have some great curves to them.
Yeah. And I believe, again, this is one where you could get, there are two versions of this. There's one where you could get this figure with a hood like over his head. That hood could be up or down. I chose down because I liked it better.
Yeah.
But again, you can do variations on a lot of these STLs where
I'm not getting a rogue vibe specifically because of the breastplate.
Sure.
but definitely getting like a myrmidon or an armored not a swashbuckler, but
Craig, he hasn't been back in 3.
please don't. I'm broadcasting right now. I'll talk to you when I'm done. All right, so we got 1, 2, looks like 3 more big figures.
All
Three
right.
more big figures. All right. Boom. Okay.
What else do we have?
Ooh. Wow.
So this is like a Death Knight, I believe. Yeah, this is a Death Knight. Or at least that's what they build as a Death Knight. It's hard to see, but his breastplate is a giant skull, and then there are like hooked chains coming off of that.
Yes. His whole
So this dude's about straight fucking evil, yo. Yeah, man, there it is, right there. Yes, straight evil.
And he's got the hooks and the chains all throughout.
Yep.
Capture that expression. Pretty amazing.
Exactly.
Again, with the beautiful runic carved swords again. Skulls are the motif. Skulls on his knees. Skulls on his elbows.
Death Knight, baby.
Nice
we are all about the Death Knight. Yep.
Showing that these dudes aren't city boys going to parties. These are
exactly
shit done.
Yeah, these aren't tourney knights. These guys actually throw down. These aren't.
He's beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. All right. Second to last. Hope the last one is like the best one in the bunch, but these have been incredible.
Yeah.
They've been incredible.
I just don't even remember what's in here, so I can't tell you.
Another Darius.
Okay, so that's the other Darius. Yep. Another Darius.
Compare this to, where did I put Darius? Where are you? I put you away separately. I thought he was light mold. Wasn't the other one light colored? I thought so.
I think maybe the little one was, but I don't remember.
There we go. Here he is. So these are definitely interesting. These are different resins. Look at the sheen of the figure on the right versus the finish on the figure on the left. That's not just lighting, that's the actual resin itself. This has more of a flat finish. This has more of a it's not,
but
it's
the,
not shiny,
the level of detail is the same. It's just we're not seeing that on the camera, right?
Correct.
Because the second one looks like it's got a higher level of detail, but that's just the sheen on it.
Is the sheen on it is creating higher contrast for the camera to see. So you're
gotcha.
able to see it, which is just interesting.
Gotcha.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
That it's that way. All right. And last but not least, patient viewers, friends, family.
It's not going to be another Darius because those are all the Darius figures. So this will definitely be something else.
Okay.
I know that for sure. It won't be what we just looked at.
Ooh.
It is another.
This is a good weight. This is a good last figure. This is super embossed on this shield. If you can see that, it's big time raised off that shield. This guy is going purse first or shield first, as it were. You can kind of see him peeking over the top, being all angry and pissed off with that huge, beautiful, Thor-esque hammer.
Yep. Nice cloak. Yeah. Great figure. So that's, paladin, cleric, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Kind of with that.
Paladin, cleric, even fighter. He could be a fighter.
Yeah, even fighter. Right. Yeah. You can do whatever.
You don't see a sword on his waist. I'm thinking maybe this artist is trying to pay homage again to that old school cleric. That's definitely his holy symbol.
Right. And that's why I thought, and again, it's probably billed as a cleric or a paladin, and again, play it as what you want. It's a great figure. It's one of those where, again, I saw it. I'm like, I love that. I want to see it painted. I love the sculpt.
If I had to guess, I would say that this artist has probably made up his own pantheon for his own setting. And this is likely
a holy symbol of one of his gods. But
That could be, yeah.
the open hand like that with the rays, that could be
Right.
that could be manipulated and interpreted in many ways. And there's
Sure.
like this ribbon nameplate down here that if you did
Right.
a fine enough job with really good paint work, you could put a name in there. You could put the god's name in there if you wanted to.
Sure.
Whatever you
Sure,
want.
sure, sure.
So,
Yeah.
fantastic stuff, my friend. Really,
Is that it? Is that the whole box? Are we
I'm
done?
checking it. Everything else that has not been opened looks like it's a base.
Base. Okay.
So I think we have sifted through all of that is there to be sifted.
Cool.
This is pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty damn awesome. I hope you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing the unboxing. And what I'm going to try to do is between now and when we do this again, no promises, no schedule, no whatever. But between now and when we do this again, I'm going to try to paint up some of these so we'll do the before and after. Like you saw them come out of the box. Now I've got them painted up and, now here's the new batch or whatever.
So I think the loose plan is, and again, we're not going to hold ourselves to this too tight because we're slackers and we got other shit to do. But I think the plan is probably within a month or so, we'll do a quick 5-minute thing where we order some stuff. And we may not, we may even save that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll order some more stuff and then we'll do another unboxing and, we'll post that when we decide to do it.
Maybe we can put Chris in the spotlight and throw him in a Zoom session and have him do a quick little Q&A with us. But who knows?
If he's available, but yeah,
if he's down with it.
We'll get another order. We'll get another order in and we'll go from there.
All right, man. Good times. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know there hasn't been a whole lot of activity on the Azmyth Busters page, but we hope to be doing some more stuff like this in the coming future and maybe stream a game or two. Who knows? We'll see. But anyway, thank you for your support and much love to everybody. Let me see how to turn this off. Big dating game. Bye. Mwah.
Mwah.